Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to every one of you who subscribes to my channel. Seriously, as long as there's one of you that loves this, I'm gonna keep doing it, so thank you very much for making this fun. We're returning to the grim dark future for the most carefree and happy faction. Actually, that's the Orcs, the servants of Kegarat, the laughing god. It's the Harlequins. Or as some like to appropriately call them, killer elf clowns from outer space. The Harlequins are traveling entertainers who use the ancient webway to visit the many faction of the Eldari, telling stories of their people. Of course, like all Eldari, the Harlequins are trained warriors and equipped with some of the most dangerous weapons in the galaxy. I'm gonna have to talk about their weapons because if I don't, only the most hardcore 40K fans will understand this build. Every Harlequin is kitted out with a mask that induces fear into anyone who looks at it, clothing that distorts light and blurs their movement, a force field that causes their movements to be distorted even more with dazzling light, and a belt that allows them to defy gravity. For weapons, that's where things get scary. Swords that are equipped with force fields that allow them to cut through just about everything, guns that fire razor blade bullets, guns that fire superheated beams that melt flesh and metal, and guns that cause the target's nervous system to go completely into overdrive. And those are the nice weapons. Want to talk about the scary stuff? How about the weapon that injects several feet of monofilament razor wire into the target's body, shredding the insides before being ripped out? How about a net made of the same monofilament razor wire that is used to whip people? And of course, let's not forget about the clawed glove that allows the wearer to reach into the target's chest before the razor claws begin cutting. Warhammer 40K, we make clowns even scarier. Oh wait, they come in different flavors. There's the Death Jester, who wears the bones of other Death Jesters, who fires a cannon of those razor bullets. There is the Psychic Shadowseer that plays with the minds of their enemies and speaks completely in riddles and poems, and of course the scariest Harlequins of all, the Mimes. Yeah, Mimes, or as they like to call them, the Solitaires. These guys dress like the devil because they're willing to let a demon eat their soul when they die. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, Spelljammer's Astral Adventurer Guide, and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. We're using standard point array to make things easy for you, and because I don't know what the hell you're using at your table. We also are multi-classing, so watch those minimums. Before we begin, let me crush a lot of your minds. Harlequins are not bards. Yeah, none of you know where I'm taking this now, do ya? We're going to start things off with intelligence at 15. You are part of a race that has technology that can steal suns, and you teach advanced science to children. We dumb, you smart. Dex flies in at 14. I'm pretty sure your bones are hollow, and you have 0% body fat in your 7-foot-tall body. Saying you're very nimble is an understatement. Oh yeah, elves are 7 feet tall in 40K. People forget that. Charisma comes in at 13. You're a performer, though I'm pretty sure being a bad performer wouldn't get you kicked out. You'd probably just drive the transport. Con comes in with 12. We need something here. Finally, wisdom will be a 10 and we're dumping strength. We'll fix it later, I promise. Harlequins are space elf clowns. Astral elves from Spelljammers are space elves. The clown part is just masks. Place +2 into dex and +1 into intelligence. Astral fire grants you the sacred flame cantrip. This gives you a grenade that forces a dex save on someone within 60 feet, dealing 1d8 radiant damage on a failure. The DC for this is based on your intelligence. Dark vision lets you see in dim light as if it's bright light, and darkness as if it's dim light out to 60 feet. Fey ancestry gives you advantage on saving throws against being or ending the charm condition. Keen senses gives you the perception skill. Starlight step lets you move with dazzling light. As a bonus action, you teleport 30 feet. You can use this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus between long rest. Astral trance means you don't sleep and can't be put to sleep magically. Your long rest are 4 hours where you enter a trance. When you finish your long rest, you temporarily gain a new skill, tool, or weapon proficiency. This lasts until you finish another long rest where you get to choose again. Finally, to end your lineage, you know Common and one other language of your choice. I'd go with Elven. For background, take the skills History and Religion to better perform the stories of your people. You gain 2 proficiencies here that are tool or languages. Every Harlequin within the troop must serve a function as they are nomadic, so customize this however you want. Level 1 rogues start off with 4 skills. Grab acrobatics, athletics, sleight of hand, and persuasion. You are proficient in light armor, simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, short swords, and finally thieves' tools. Expertise doubles your proficiency bonus to 2 skills. Place this into acrobatics and athletics. Sneak attack adds bonus damage once per turn to your attacks when you are wielding a finesse or ranged weapon while you have advantage on the attack or your target is within 5 feet of an enemy of theirs. This starts off at a 1d6 but will upgrade as we go. Thieves' Cant is a coded language of phrases, gestures, and symbols that only rogues use, which if you've listened to the Heirs of Kegarat audio series, this fits really too well. And by series I mean 2 audio dramas because GW loses all interest in any story that doesn't involve 8-foot-tall armored super soldiers. Listen, I love Space Marines. I have a 40K tattoo of my favorite Space Marine chapter, but they are not the only faction in 40K. Okay, time for tech. Level 1 wizards are spellcasters. Yeah, I don't care if I'm replacing tech with magic. There's a lot we need and nothing else can give us all we need so quickly. I love artificers, but they're half casters. They can't match this. You have a spell book that you can copy spells to as you go. At the end of a long rest, you can prepare a total number of spells you have written down for use. That equals your wizard level plus intelligence modifier. You regain all used spell slots at the end of a long rest. You start off with 3 cantrips and 6 first level spells. Before that, Arcane Recovery lets you recover some of your used spell slots at the end of a short rest. This can recover spell slots that equal up to half your wizard level, but can never be higher than 6th level. For your spells, Firebolt fires a heat blast out to 120 feet, dealing 1d10 fire damage on a hit. Message lets you whisper a message to someone within 120 feet that only they can hear, and they can reply back to you. Pretty good in battle. Mind Sliver fires a psychokinetic shot at a creature within 60 feet and forces an intelligence save. Should they fail, they take 1d6 psychic damage, and they must subtract 1d4 from their next saving throw before the end of your next turn. Cause Fear targets one creature within 60 feet and awakens dread within them, forcing a wisdom save. Should they fail, they become frightened of you for 1 minute while you maintain this spell. A frightened creature has disadvantage on all attacks and skill checks while they are within line of sight to what is scaring them, and they cannot willingly move any closer. At the end of each of their turns, they can attempt to end the spell by retaking the save. Mage Armor gives you an AC of 13 plus Dex for 8 hours while you aren't wearing armor. Gift of Alacrity gives you a bonus 1d8 to your initiative for 8 hours. Jump triples your jump distance for 1 minute. Color Spray causes a flash of dazzling light to be released from your hand in a 15-foot cone. Rolling 6d10s, this generates a pool of HP. Targeting every creature within the cone, starting with the creature with the lowest HP, you begin subtracting from the pool. Once the subtraction equals the creature's total HP, the creature is blinded until the end of your next turn. You can upcast this to add 2d10s to the pool per level you spend it at. Feather Fall stops all falling damage no matter the height on up to 5 creatures. Level 2 wizards gain their subclass. Blade Singer from Tasha's are sword-swinging dancers. Training in War and Song gives you proficiency in 1 melee weapon that uses a single hand to wield of your choice and the performance skill. There's a little bit more, but you already have the rest. Blade Sing enhances your combat skills when not wearing medium or heavy armor, which you can't, or using a shield, which you can't. As a bonus action, you enter your Blade Song for 1 minute. While active, your AC gains a bonus equal to your intelligence, your walking speed is increased by 10 feet, you have advantage on acrobatics checks, and you gain a bonus to any con save you make to maintain spells that equal your intelligence modifier. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus between long rests, and this will end early if you are incapacitated or both your hands are being used for weapons. For your new spell, Shield adds +5 to your AC as a reaction until the start of your next turn, and it stops Magic Missile from hitting you. Speaking of Magic Missile, this fires 3 razor bullets out to 120 feet that auto hit, dealing 1d4 +1 per bullet. Level 3 wizards receive 2nd level spells. For your new spells, it's time to get your Hollow Suit. Blur distorts your body for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. While active, all attacks against you are at disadvantage unless the creature attacking you has True Sight or Blind Sight. Mirror Image distorts your body once again, but this time creates 2 after images of you for 1 minute. Each time you are targeted with an attack, you roll a d20. If you have both images of you on a 6 or higher, one of the images is attacked instead of you. If you only have one image, on an 11 or higher, the image is attacked instead of you. This image has a DC 10 plus your dex, and if the attack hits, the image is destroyed. This will not work if the attacker has true sight or blind sight. Guess what? Blur and mirror image can stack, as only one must be maintained. Level 4 wizards earn our first ability score improvement. Place this into strength to whip out that negative and improve your jump distance. If you don't like this, or if you rolled and you don't have a negative, don't worry about this. For your spells, Scorching Ray fires 3 blasts of intense heat out to 120 feet, dealing 2d6 fire damage. Each blast can be at the same target or a different one. Agonar's Scorcher fires a single line of intense heat. This line is 30 feet long and 5 feet wide. Every creature within the line must make a dex save or take 3d8 fire damage. You gain another cantrip, have fun choosing. Your character level 5 now, raise your proficiency bonus up to +3, and your cantrips get some upgrades as well. Firebolt, Mindsliver, and Sacred Flame now do 2 damage dice each. Level 5 wizards now have 3rd level spells. For your spells, Vampiric Touch allows you to make a melee spell attack that phases through your target, or maybe injects a monofilament wire into your target and deals 2d6 necrotic damage. You can then heal yourself half the damage of the attack. You can maintain this spell for 1 minute and take this attack each round. By the way, all the special melee weapons I listed earlier, this spell is for that. I know some of you would have preferred different spells, but all of them cut at the cellular level, which I say is necrotic damage. There is only 2 melee spells that deal necrotic damage, and you can only get 1. Haste gives you a major boost to your speed. For 1 minute while you maintain this spell, your speed is doubled, you gain +2 to your AC, and you have advantage on dex saving throws, and you gain an additional action. This action can be a single weapon attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object action. When the spell ends, you cannot move or take actions until the start of your next turn. Level 6 Bladesinger wizards gain extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single attack action. For your new spells, Fear unleashes a 30-foot cone from your mask. Every creature within the cone must make a wisdom save or become terrified of you for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. While the spell is active, they drop whatever they are holding and must take their dash action to get away from you. They cannot retake the save until they break line of sight from you. Hypnotic Pattern throws a grenade out to 120 feet. When it explodes, it fills a 30-foot cube of blinding light. Each creature within the cube must make a wisdom save or become charmed for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. While charmed, they are incapacitated and have their speed become 0. This spell ends early if they take damage or another creature uses their action to shake them out of it. Level 7 wizards receive 4th level spells. For your spells, let's grab some Shadow Seer magic. Mind Spike fires a psychic blast out to 60 feet at a creature you can see. Forcing a wisdom save, they take 3d8 psychic damage if they fail. Also, if they fail the save, you will always know their location for 1 hour while you maintain the spell, even if they are invisible. Raluthin's Psychic Lance is a psychic attack that targets one creature you can see within 120 feet, or if you can't see them, you can say their name, they must still be within 120 feet, and you must know their name. Forcing an intelligence save, they take 7d6 psychic damage and are now incapacitated until the start of your next turn. Level 8 wizards earn another ability score improvement. Bump up your intelligence for more spells, spell attack, and DC. For your final 2 spells, Magic Weapon turns one non-magic weapon into a +1 weapon for 1 hour while you maintain this spell. Shadow Blade gives you a Shadow Seer's weapon. You summon a weapon of shadow that is finesse, light, can be thrown, and deals 2d8 psychic damage. If you are in dim light or darkness, all attack rolls with this weapon are at advantage. Hey, your character level 9 now. Your proficiency bonus gets raised again to +4. Level 2 rogues now have Cunning Action. Dash, Disengage, and Hide are now bonus actions to you. Level 3 rogues gain their subclass. Swashbuckler from Xanathars are sword-swinging warriors, and this will improve your combat. Rakish Audacity lets you add your charisma modifier to your initiative roll. You can now also make a sneak attack when there is no one else near the target, as long as you are within 5 feet of them and you don't have disadvantage on the attack. Fancy Footwork stops a creature from making attacks of opportunity against you if you hit them with any attack. Finally, your sneak attack is upgraded to 2d6 extra damage. Your character level 11 now, time to upgrade some cantrips again. Firebolt, Mindsliver, and Sacred Flame now do 3 damage dice each. Level 4 rogues earn another ability score improvement. Bump up dex for better attacks, damage, and AC. Level 5 rogues receive Uncanny Dodge. Now when you get hit and you can see what is hitting you, you can use your reaction to have the damage. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 3d6 extra damage. You've reached character level 13, bump up your proficiency bonus to +5. Level 6 rogues get 2 more expertise, place this into persuasion and performance. Level 7 rogues now have evasion. Your dex saves are now improved and you take no damage on a success and half on a failure. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 4d6 extra damage. Level 8 rogues earn another ability score improvement. Let's grab a feat. Actor from the Player's Handbook adds +1 to your charisma and improves your acting abilities. You now have advantage on deception and performance check you make to pass yourself off as someone else, and you can now mimic the speech or sounds of other creatures you've heard for at least 1 minute. Level 9 Swashbuckler rogues gain Pache. Now, as an action, you can make a persuasion check against another creature's insight check that can hear and understand you. If your persuasion is higher and the creature is hostile to you, they now have disadvantage on attacks against any other creature other than you, and can't make attacks of opportunity against anyone other than you for 1 minute. If your persuasion is higher and they are not hostile to you, they are now charmed and feel friendly towards you for 1 minute or until you or one of your allies harms them. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 5d6 extra damage. Your character level 17, your proficiency bonus is now +6. Your cantrips Firebolt, Mind Sliver, and Sacred Flame now do 4 damage dice each. Level 10 rogues earn another ability score improvement to cap off dex. Level 11 rogues gain Reliable Talent. When you roll any skill you are proficient with, the dice can never be lower than 10. Finally, your sneak attack is now maxed out at 6d6 extra damage. Our final level is level 12 rogue, and you earn our final ability score improvement, Cap Off Intelligence. I don't say this often, I really don't like ending builds on stat improvements, but I had to for this one. If you rolled for stats and already have capped out your intelligence, drop this level and take another level in Wizard to gain access to webway portals in the form of the spell Teleportation Circle. You can also create a spaceship with the spell Create Spelljamming Helm at 9th level Wizard. It's actually what I wanted to do, but you should be a genius, and I wasn't ending this with an 18 intelligence. Now that we've reached level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 10, Dex 20, Con 12, Intelligence 20, Wisdom 10, Charisma 12. Your total levels are Wizard 8, Rogue 12. Let's dive in. You are one person most people would not want to fight. Your initiative is 7 plus 1d8, your AC is 23 and can be taken up to 28, and you have a field that distorts your image against attacks. Hell, if you don't want to cast spells, for your AC is 20 without armor. You can also cast a spell that adds +2 to your AC or causes disadvantage on attacks against you. Using a rapier, your attacks are 1d8 plus 5 piercing damage and can be magical. You can also summon a shadow weapon that deals 2d8 psychic damage. For range, you can hit a creature out to 120 feet and your basic attack deals 4d10 fire damage. Speaking of damage, how many creatures have resistance or immunity to psychic damage? It's a good damage to have, and you have several attacks that do that. Your movement can be up to 70 feet, and your jump distance can be 30 feet across or 9 feet straight up. Finally, you can blind, charm, incapacitate, or just completely terrify your enemies. Downside. Firstly, you have a lot of concentration spells, which is normal for spellcasters, but this could be harmful to you. If you don't have a magic weapon, you need to cast one of your offensive spells, which means you can't cast your spells that improve your defense or speed. You'll get a magic weapon though, we know you will. Your sneak attack only applies to your weapon attacks, not your spell attacks. Thankfully, Shadow Blade is a weapon attack and is finesse. Thankfully, your defense is great, because Wizard gives you nothing for health, and that's before you add your modifier. Taking the average, your total health is going to only be 115. That's not really frontline fighter health. Top that off with the fact that you need your Blade Song to boost your AC. So to get a good AC, you need Blade Song and Mage Armor active. Mage Armor lasts for 8 hours, always have this ready to go. Finally, you can only prepare 13 spells a day and you have 20 spells total. Though, if you customize this, that can be better. For example, Shadow Seers have more psychic damage, and Solitaires do not have range attacks of any kind, preferring melee. Travel across the galaxy telling the stories of your people, and when the battle begins, let them understand why the children of Kegarat are to be feared. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. And make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.